what can we do to advocate for folks to have a seat at the table?
Yeah, and gosh, all important points coming from Tori and Jamie and Jesse. But from a corporate perspective, in my mind, it's bringing other women along and lifting other women up. We talk about mentoring and we talk about sponsorship, and I ask women often to lean really heavily into the sponsorship. Mentoring is amazing, and we learn from each other in mentoring relationships. But sponsoring is where you're being a champion, you're being an advocate for another woman or a group of women, that you're actually got their back and you're sitting in and you're giving them voice when they don't have a voice, and allowing them to spread their wings. So being a sponsor, being a champion is where I often encourage folks to go. The other side of this is really important, is knowing when to be quiet. We talk about our privilege a lot. I love to talk. I think Gabrielle knows this very well, and anybody else, probably this whole panel now knows that I love to talk. That's why I do what I do. I'm an activist and an advocate and an ally. But knowing, and this has worked for me, and I think it's worked for a lot of folks, especially if you're an activist, is knowing when to be quiet and create space for other voices. You can give voice, but you can also create space for voice. And so that is an area where I continue to do my work and try to see the world through other people's eyes. Gabrielle's friendship has meant a lot to me because I get to see the world through a different perspective and another woman's eyes that I don't get to see. And she gets to see through my eyes and what I experience in life, and just walking around as we are and who we are, and having the ability to see, quiet, listen, and lift each other up. So that's my advice for the team, is really leaning into the sponsorship and seeing through somebody else's eyes and knowing when to be quiet.
Sandy, and if I could just, give you some accolades here for a moment, because you have done just that, what you've shared with me and so many others. You have brought us along. You have provided access to spaces that we would not otherwise have access to. You have learned, and I feel like sometimes I spend more time convincing you to say something as opposed to listening and being quiet. But it's like you have learned that beautiful balance of speaking up and advocating for, and then giving the platform to other folks. And I just feel like that is a very selfless act of compassion and love for those folks around you who you want to elevate. So thank you for being so wonderful at that, and even teaching me how to do that as I continue to show up in the spaces that I show up, raising those voices that need to be raised. So thank you for that.